Welcome to the Self-Care 101 podcast with your host, straight-talking life coach, Puja McClymont. This show provides simple self-development, supporting you to embody your self-worth so that you can live the happier, more fulfilled life that you deserve without burning out. Thank you so much for listening today. Hello, it's season 2, episode 20. Now today's show is a bonus show because there's been things that have been on my mind, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like if I talk about them, it's a lot easier to work through them. And right now I'm not sure where I'm going with my thought process. So I thought, let me talk to my podcast listeners because I think you guys are my best audience, the best audience to get feedback from, best audience to know if something is interesting, best audience to just be around. So you guys are my best people. So here we go. Now, I don't know if it's because Mercury's retrograde. I don't know if it's because it's my birthday month and I'm feeling a bit, another year has gone by. What have I achieved? Am I happy? Am I on the right path? I mean, it could be a combination of all those things, but what it really boils down to is frustration. I think frustration. There's so much obviously going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the UK at the moment, in London, lots of unnecessary deaths for many women. And there's a fight that we're constantly in as women to be more, do more, have more. And then we're sort of like shot down by the patriarchy. I mean, it's a lot, let alone day to day, pandemic, keeping our jobs, looking after our families, being, social and there for everybody. Mental health awareness is putting us on sort of notice to look after our friends and our families. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to do. And, the reason why I got into what I do as a coach is because I wanted to help people to prevent burnout from living a life that they were told to live. So rather than living a life that is, based on what they want and what they could be and what they could give, it was more of a, you need to get a job, you need it to pay well, you need a career, then you buy your house, then you get your partner, then you have your kids, and then life's over, essentially. You basically just live for everybody else until you die. Now, I know that many people don't subscribe to that anymore, and I certainly have never subscribed to it. I did it, and unfortunately, that's what led to my breakdown. That's what led to depression. That's what led to burning out. And it led to the journey that I'm on now, which is me being a coach. So I've got a positive out of a negative, but, I very, very almost didn't have this because there was a point where my despair was so heavy that it was too much. It was too much to keep going and keep doing. Luckily, it happened at a time before I had my family, so I wasn't feeling that extra pressure. But I can tell you now that, life is still a struggle. It's still very difficult. It's, as a business owner, it's very difficult to get up every single day and slog, because that's essentially what you're doing. As much as I love the work that I do, the slog is really hard. And that's really where the difference is between those that succeed and those that don't, because to be able to commit to that slog takes a lot from you. And the slog is what? It's doing these podcasts, it's coming and doing newsletters every week, it's creating a social media post for every day, it's recording videos, it's making sure your website copy is right, it's having conversations with people and engaging with them and having phone calls and serving clients. And the slog happens more so in the getting your word out, telling the world what you do. You're then met with red tape when it comes to increasing your follower numbers, for instance. If you want to reach more people, you have to advertise, so you need to spend money. So then you're not making money because you're having to spend it, which is all part of business, and I'm not having a whinge about that because it is what it is. But it's like the tools that were created to help you end up not helping you unless you're willing to play the game. And my problem is I don't like to play the game. I never have. I never have. My biggest, and do you know what? Is it my problem? I don't even know. But I've never been someone who's liked to play the game. I've never been good at it. I've never been able to play, those office politics. Nope, never. And I guess at this point, maybe this is an age thing. I'm coming to 41 in a couple of weeks, and I'm feeling really not where I thought I would be by now. I guess that's the truth. I'm feeling that I'm not where I thought I would be. And I guess the thoughts that are running through my mind is, am I doing enough? Am I not doing enough? What more could I do? What can I do? Am I able to do this? Should I jack it all in? Should I just do a simple 9 to 5? Shall I just leave the world in its state and not contribute? What should I do? What's happening? It's a really hard thing to try to navigate, to be honest with you. And I know I've talked about this a lot, about comparison and not falling victim to it. And if you get triggered by certain things on social media, not to fall for it and come back to yourself. But, I'm human, so it happens to me, and when does it happen? It always happens when things aren't going well. Right? So when things aren't going well for you, you start seeing all the things that are going right for everybody else. And then you feel jealousy, you feel ashamed, you feel guilty, you feel bad. And then it's like, what do I do? What can I do? Now, these kind of lulls happen in business. You do have your ups and downs, you have your good days, your bad days, and it is part of the journey. It is unfortunately part of that journey. But every day I get up and I commit to what I'm going to do, be that podcast, social media, talking to clients, speaking to potential clients, talking to colleagues in the industry, networking. I will do it because I believe so much in the work I do. And I really, really believe in my message. And I believe more so that there are people out there who resonate with the message, who don't want to conform, who do want to be a bit rebellious to societal norms, who do want to have and live the best life that they can possibly live. Because even though I believe in reincarnation, there's only one life, one conscious life. I think what's been really winding me up of late, and this is probably where I'm going to get super intimate with you guys, but I think what's been really winding me up of late is the wellness industry. And I mean, it winds me up at the best of times, but it's really bothering me because obviously this is my space. This is where I work and I'm trying to communicate my message. And the people who are running the show, let's just say it, it's white people, full of white people running the show. And I mean, I don't want to make this a historical thing, but it's very one-sided. It's for white people by white people. But the things that they're talking about, the things that they're teaching are all things from other cultures. So yoga, Ayurveda, gua sha, acupuncture. I mean, the list is extensive and you know what we're talking about here. And yet they dominate. They dominate the market. The publications that are run by white people dominate. The teachers who are white dominate. I saw a double-page spread in a newspaper recently that was something that I could have been featured in, right? If I was running this particular type of program, I could have been featured in it and timing and pitched, etc. But I saw this double-page spread and it was about retreats, and retreats is it's very Eastern in terms of, taking a break and restocking or, taking stock of your life and things. And every single one of the retreats had an Eastern philosophy to them. So all of them contained yoga. Yoga's Indian, in case you didn't know. But not one of the teachers or the hosts of these retreats was Indian or Black or Asian. None of them. And I thought, wow, in this age of diversity and wokeness, I mean, how could you have put that together, both as an editor, as a journalist, and not seen that you only had white people in there? And then that sort of brings you to that point of agenda. Is this agenda? Don't know. Something we can obviously discuss. Then I started thinking about who's dominating the market, the Indian side, of the wellness market. And who dominates it? Well, Deepak Chopra. He was the first to get known for sure. And he does his thing. He's very deep. I adore him, like as an inspiration, as fascination, what he has to talk about, his ideas. I am very interested, but he's very heavy and very much suited to a specific market. But Deepak himself has really put his business hat on and appealed to the white wellness market. And he's done it really well. Now, unfortunately, I'm a bit of a person who can't really be a sellout. I am just too authentic in my heart that I can't be a sellout. So I can't say that, I help fix white people, because that just doesn't feel right to me. I help whoever wants the help. So I can't sort of like give in to that business strategy. So Deepak Chopra kind of dominates that side of the market. And then, the newer people that are coming up, Jay Shetty, Vex King, Robin Sharma. Now, those three are three of my, I guess, favorites. Vishen Lakhani as well from Mind Valley, big fan. But have you noticed they're all Indian men? Very interesting. But I don't really know many Indian women who are dominating the wellness market with their voices and things like that. There's a few people who pop up, the odd doctor here and there, but there's no one really sort of dominating that market, writing books or massive social media followings and things like that. And I find that interesting too. I mean, I'd love to carve that place for myself, but I'm feeling like there's a lot of resistance for me to break into that space. Now, is that a race thing? Is that because I'm a woman thing? I don't know. But I guess you get to a point where sometimes it starts feeling that way. And then I feel, well, maybe I'm not young enough. Maybe what I have to offer is not what a young person wants, because they want inspiration from another young person. I don't know. For me, that's a bit short-sighted, because somebody older than you has had more life experience. That's just fact. That's not anything elitist or condescending. It's just fact. Someone who's lived, I'm going to say, a colourful life, because a colourful life is something where you have had ups, downs, and super downs. And yet you've still carried on. You've managed to build yourself back up, help others, contribute to the world, etc. Or perhaps I'm not woke enough. Perhaps I am speaking to mainstream. Maybe I'm just saying the same things that everyone else is saying, and it's not really of interest to anyone. It's really hard, because those are very blanket statements, obviously. And I know we all do this. We decide that everything's much more dramatic than it really is. And as a little running joke between me and my son, if I say to him, you can't watch TV whilst you have dinner, he'll literally go, oh, I can never have TV. I can never watch TV and have dinner. And I'm like, no, son, just today. Tomorrow is another day. Today you can't eat dinner in front of the TV. And he is so dramatic, and it's very funny. But we're all just as dramatic. I mean, he's 5, but we're all just as dramatic. When things go wrong, we feel the magnitude of them. We feel like they are a lot worse than they actually are. Even me, coming and doing this little bonus show, I'm also coming to it with a bit of I'm in a negative mood. I'm feeling really sorry for myself, and I'm really confused, and I'm frustrated, and how am I going to do this? What else can I do? What should I do? No one's helping me. How am I going to make this happen? But people are helping me. I do have clients. I have more clients this year than I've ever had, which means that my business has grown. I have made more money this year than I ever have, which means my business has grown. I have reached more people through my podcast, which means that my business has grown. My network has grown. I'm having much more engagement on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, from people that have either followed me for a while or who are new to following me. And I'm really enjoying those conversations with people. I'm loving to see other people's growth. I'm loving to see people succeeding. Like, those sorts of things fill me up. I bought a new place this year. I am feeling good. I'm losing a bit of weight, and I'm in a good place with my husband and my son. And, I'm cultivating the friendships, the relationships that really mean a lot to me, and doing all I can right now to support them. And so actually that's what's going on. Life's not actually that bad, but it feels really heavy when the things that you want to go a certain way don't go a certain way. And I guess we start looking at reasons why it's happening and get ourselves into that sort of victim mode. I certainly feel very victim mode at the moment in terms of who's dominating in coaching and wellness at the moment. And it's strange because I recently received a message of somebody who discovered my podcast through Spotify, and Spotify had recommended the podcast. And my heart filled so big when I received that message, because it wasn't just that she found me. The success bit almost was that Spotify recommended my podcast to that listener. And that just completely changed the game for me in my heart. I was like, whoa, that means it's growing, because if you're being recommended, you're not at the bottom of the pile of the podcast. Now, I know I'm not at the bottom of the pile from looking at my statistics, but I'm also not number one. Not that number one is the goal, not at all. But I would like to be in a recommended list. I would like to be in, new and noteworthy on Apple. So those are growth goals anyway, which is fine. But that message really just kind of hit my heart in a way that said, keep going, keep doing. It's happening. It will happen. You've just got to keep going. And it's something that I tell myself every single day, especially when I have a low day like this, that it will get better, because the fact of the matter is it always does. It always gets better. Even though you can't see it, it does. It always gets better. And when I started thinking about even doing this bonus show, I was like, what is the point of this show? What is the point? And I thought, well, you know what, just start talking about it, start putting the show together, and then free flow. There's no script. I've literally got some post-it notes here that I'm reading through. Well, not even reading through, but just using as like sort of, if those sorts of things are bothering me, let me bring them up. But truly, I think that as I've sort of been talking in this show, it's been more about the keep going, keep living, keep spreading your message, keep doing what you love, keep doing what you do. If you believe in what you are doing, sometimes you won't believe in yourself, but if you can believe in what you are doing, that is your purpose, that's your motivator, that is the thing that makes you wake up in the morning, that is the thing that you do. And so long as you give to that every single day, you're making progress. And even if you can't give to that on a particular day, today's a tricky day for me. I don't feel I can give too much today, but I'll do as much as I can. So when I hit that wall and I can't go any further, I feel very, woe is me, why not me? Then I just stop. I I watch Real Housewives or $1 Million Listing. But I stop and I give myself a break. And in that break, rather than going down the woe is me spiral that's very easy to go down, I instead go to the what have I achieved? What have I achieved? I read my testimonials. I read old messages from clients on WhatsApp. I read DMs in Instagram. I look at what joy I've had in my year, whether it be with friends, family, my son, work, clients, anything. And I guess I come back to center. I come back to being grounded. And I allow myself the space to have that compassion, because if I don't, what will happen is my message will get lost and I will give up, and then I become another person who gives up on the world. And I don't want to. I don't want to be someone who gives up. I don't give up. I don't quit. I'm just so determined and stubborn that I just won't quit. I won't quit. I've got to feed my family, but I won't quit. Because I believe in my heart of hearts, and this is actually making me really emotional. I believe in my heart of hearts, like the depths of my soul, that this is what I was put here to do. That my gosh, that made me emotional. I wasn't expecting that. That when I was breaking down and diagnosed with depression, and what depression meant, and what it meant to be exhausted, what it meant to not live your life for yourself. When I started to understand all of that, I was just like, I know I'm not the only person in this world, on this earth, who is going through this or who's felt this. And if I can help just one person to come back to who they are, or to find out who they are, and to feel confident to do the things that they want to do with their lives, that they want from their lives, and sometimes they don't even know. Sometimes a client doesn't even know what they want. They just know that something's not right. They know that they're unhappy. They know that what they're doing is not feeding their soul. And it just makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing. Obviously, because I know that feeling. And that feeling has obviously made me very emotional today on this bonus show that's gone on for longer than I was expecting. And I'm not going to edit the show. You're going to get it raw. Trains in the background and all. But I really am. I'm committed to my purpose. I'm committed to the legacy that I want to leave in the world. I want people to be empowered by who they are. I want people to be empowered by what they want from their life. And I want to be there to support you to achieve that. I do. I want to support you to do that. There's something I've said to people, that what I do is I give you the support that I needed, but I didn't have. And that's more than a friend. That's more than a loved one. Because my only agenda is for you to win. Because if you win, we all win. Because you are meant for more. You know you're meant for more. And I want to help you bring that out of you. Because whatever it is that you are meant for, you are going to affect the world that we live in. And that's a beautiful journey to be on. I'm going to leave it there. I thank you for listening as always. And if any of this has resonated, or you want to feedback anything, please do. You can send me a DM on Instagram at Puja McClymont. Email me hello@pujamcclymont.com. Phone me. I pick up the phone. Anything you want to do, however you want to communicate, please do let me know. I love hearing from you. It really does make me feel like I'm not just talking into this massive mic that looks like a dildo, but that I'm actually talking to wonderful people who want to do wonderful things in the world. So thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Self-Care 101 podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate and review over on Apple Podcasts so that other people like you can find the show. For more information about the work I do, head over to my website, PujaMcClymont.com, and for daily inspiration, please follow me on Instagram at Puja McClymont. Sending love and talk to you soon.